Cleveland is providing more and better service for less money. We've avoided layoffs, and we are not raising taxes. In 2007, I have the opportunity to have the first police exam in 6 years. I've increased the number of budgeted police officers by 30. We put on 4 police cadet classes, and the 5th cadet police class of 55 officers will graduate in October this year. And we have stimulus dollars that will allow us to pay for 50 police officers. In 2006, I opened recreation centers on Saturday. That is after they've been closed for almost 3 years. And as also, we began to sweep the residential streets of the city of Cleveland the first time in many years. I've developed a 5-year capital plan where we're investing in our neighborhoods and in economic development programs that are helping our businesses in Cleveland during this economic crisis. Now, these are just some of the things that I've done to stabilize Cleveland during this crisis. Because Cleveland is stable in this crisis, and while others are in chaos, we have some orders. We are able to plan for the future and to continue to move while other urban centers are just struggling to survive the moment. Now, my next 4 years will be to build on the foundation that I've laid and implement and continue to implement plans to ensure our future. I will continue to work with the business community to build a regional economy that will allow us to compete nationally and internationally. We will create a sustainable economy that will not only allow us to help preserve our environment and our individual health, but will also be profitable for businesses, create jobs, and make us a leader in the future economy that is to come, which is a sustainable economy. I will build on investments in our neighborhoods, improve quality of life, ensure a higher quality of life in the city of Cleveland and higher quality service, be fiscally sound, and create a better continuation between pre-K to 12 going into higher learning. I will continue to build on our strengths and assets such as the healthcare industry, arts and culture, our green and recreational space, and most importantly, to build on our greatest asset, which is our people. Now, Cleveland has a great future in front of us, but we cannot leave that to chance.
Thanks, Mayor Jackson. We'll now hear an opening statement from Mr. Kylo.
Thank you. Well, hello, Cleveland. Hello, City Club. It's a real honor to be here today, and I want to start really by honoring Mayor Jackson. I want to be very clear, as I've been from the outset of this campaign, that I'm not really running against him or these other fine candidates that are at this table. I'm very much running for the future of this city. So, Mayor Jackson, thank you for your service to this country in Vietnam. Thank you for your service to this city and City Council as a City Council President. And thank you for being the mayor these last 4 years.
Well, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. That's good. This is good. This is camaraderie. It needs to be this way. It's got to be we the people, so let's come together, and we're doing it up here, so this is good. But I think, as many of you who know me, I'm a very unscripted person. So I really just wanted to speak my heart today. And as I was really preparing myself to come here to address this fine crowd, it really became clear that I'm really excited about what I'm seeing in this great city. And with the passing of Ted Kennedy, I think many of us have been thinking back about the Kennedy family in the early 60s and Camelot. Now, that may have been before my lifetime, but I can tell you I'm an avid study of American history. And John F. Kennedy had the famous quote in his inauguration address, "Ask not what the country can do for you, but what can you do for your country?" I'm submitting to the people of Cleveland, it's time to ask not what Cleveland can do for you, but what can you do for Cleveland, for this great city. I believe, if anything I want to speak about myself, is that for 34 and a half years of life, I've demonstrated servant leadership. I can assure you the reason that I'm sitting up here has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the people of Cleveland. I mentioned American history. The United States Constitution is very clear, and it starts with the preamble, "We, the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union." I really believe it's time for Clevelanders, instead of stop pointing fingers at one another, I think it's time to draw swords together to fight for the glorious future of this city. I'm submitting to the people of Cleveland that 2010 to 2020 has all the makings to be Cleveland's decade. I was thinking about Nev Chandler this morning. I'm a big sports guy, and he was a great man, and my parents had season tickets for the Browns for several years. And I remember in the mid to late 80s, there was a life and a vibrancy to this city. I remember being down at the old stadium, and it was called Pandemonium Palace. Those are the things of Cleveland that I remember, that I cherish. And at 34, I think it's time to stoke the flame again so that there's vibrancy in life. The issues we have in Cleveland are so deep and so profound, it is not fair to point the finger at any one person. But I think it's time for us to put a line of demarcation in the sand and say it's time to press forward together. I think this decade has all the makings, as I mentioned earlier, to be Cleveland's decade. We believe we're bringing a solution. As I've said before, I'm not the shell answer man. I don't have every answer under the sun, but I'll tell you what, we're carrying a vision with a strong belief to that vision that this is the hour for Cleveland to be the city we all want it to be. We're sending a strong message, just as the Founding Fathers did, that this is about we the people. We the people of Cleveland coming together collectively for a common vision so we can embark on this journey together. And then it's really about servant leadership. It is truly better to serve than to be served. And I think what you're seeing in Team Kylo as we go forward to serve Team Cleveland, that we're really building bridges relationally that are really amazing to me to see. Serve Cleveland is part of our platform, and we've identified 5 areas that we think are foundational to this city flourishing in every aspect of life. The S for serve is safety, the E is for education, the R is for recreation, the V is for volunteerism, and the E is for economic development. Each one of those pillars are just as important as the next. And I believe if we raise the expectations high enough, I believe all of us as citizens can rise up to that. That includes adults, children, family, our education system, our sports team, our business community, all across the board, our philanthropic community, and our civic community. If we truly begin to believe in Cleveland again, that we can break through this, I think it's time, finally, to bring a championship mindset to this city. My dad is an avid Browns fan, and he always talks to me about the 1964 Browns. Well, I was negative 11 years old that year, so I didn't see that game. But I could tell you, I want to experience what it's like to be part of a championship team. I think all the assets are out there. I think it's now time to draw them out. And I believe as a mayor of this city, my #1 responsibility is to put people around me that can really do the work that needs to be done, where I can simply lead and inspire the community to a better future. It has to be the people. It can't just be City Hall. It has to be all of us. So I really believe it's time to raise the stakes a little bit in terms of our expectations. I think by 2020, if we start with a sense of urgency and we roll up our sleeves, I really believe a Kylo administration can serve as a catalyst to light a fire in this city that won't go out, and this is the fire we actually want to be burning. So this is an exciting time to put behind the past, to put our hands to the plow and move forward into the future, because Cleveland has everything in the people that we need. My role, I believe, is to draw that out of everybody, give you the platform so that you can shine, so that we can do this together. So I'll shelve the rest of my comments, but I think it's time for Team Kylo to serve Cleveland as a city. It's time for the citizens of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio to rally together for a common cause and vision. And I think we simply have to start adjusting our attitude and raising the expectations, because if you believe it and you see it, it will happen. So let's come together and draw swords together, and let's put behind us the bitter partisanship and the finger pointing, and let's really unite as our brother's keeper so that we can go forward and blaze a path that would really be the most exciting thing we'd have. So it's a real blessing to be here today. I look forward to your questions, and thanks so much for inviting us here, City Club. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kylo, and thank you, candidates. We'll now have a rebuttal from each candidate using the balance of their time. And Mr. Patmon, you're first, and you have 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Thank you. My public record speaks for itself. You can Google Bill Patmon, and you'll get more than you want to read. So I'm not going to address that. What I'm going to talk about, though, is when we were pushing Cleveland, when Cleveland was the all-American city,